I'm in a dark, noisy room. It's metal. I've got foam stuffed in my ears. My mouth is dry. And I'm strapped into this net. And even if I wanted to get up and try to look for the exit and find a way out, I couldn't because I've got all this stuff strapped to me. And that's weighing me down. Am I in a Saw movie? No. I'm in the back of a military aircraft, and it is my duty that day to jump out of that aircraft. Now, sometimes people ask me when I tell them that I was a paratrooper, they said, well, why would you want to jump out of a perfectly good airplane? To which I reply, it's obvious, isn't it? I don't like to fly. This is my first jump in the Army, and after this, I'm well on my way to becoming a paratrooper, so I really want to do it. But what I didn't consider when I signed up was that in 20 minutes from now, I'm going out of the door of a moving aircraft in the air, and I might die. That's just the reality of it. Intellectually, I can say that, but in my entire body, I'm sitting here just beside myself with fear. The airplane takes off and we get up to altitude and everything's kind of moving and shaking just a little bit. And now it's about 15 minutes before I die. I look around to my other fellow paratroopers and I see wide eyes just like I have, and I see people start to yawn. And what they don't tell you is that usually when you see people yawn, that's the body oxygenating itself, which means that you're kind of afraid. You're getting ready to do something, that whole flight or fight thing. So I'm yawning, they're yawning, everybody's yawning, and everybody has wide eyes. So at least I know that I'm not alone, but the fact of the matter is that I'm gonna die now in probably about 12 minutes. So we get to the drop zone, we're over it, and we look at the jump masters, and the jump masters tell us, okay, everybody stand up. And so we do. And when we do that, what we're supposed to do is take the static line, which activates our parachute, and hook that to a cable that runs from the front to the back of the plane. And so I do. And as I'm standing there, I'm thinking, wait a minute, this doesn't seem too bad. But then somebody tells me in the back of my mind that, hey, in 8 minutes, we're pretty much going to die. And now all of a sudden, I start to shake a little bit and my legs are failing me. All of a sudden, my equipment is like super heavy. And now it's about 7 minutes before I die, and reality is starting to come in. Then they open the door. And when they do, the cargo doors open this way. There's this whoosh of loud air, and it gets windy, and it gets louder inside. And I'm just standing here like knowing that I'm going to be going out of that place where those scary noises just came out of. And, oh, by the way, is that a cloud that just whipped past? It's about 5 minutes now before death is inevitable. And we're sitting there, we're standing there, and there's these two lights at the back of the plane. One is red and one is green. And right now, the light is red. And when the light gets green, or when it turns green, that's when everybody jumps out of the plane. And so we're waiting. And I'm looking at the jump master, because the jump master is supposed to tell us when it's time. The jump master is just kind of chilling, and I'm like, okay, well, it's fine. And then I start thinking, well, I don't really want to do this. Like, I know this, I'm gonna die. Like, and I only have like 4 minutes left. And they told us at the beginning, they said, look, you can either jump out of the plane or you can get a court-martial. And I said, wait a minute. So I'm for sure going to get a court-martial if I don't jump, and I only might die if I do jump. That doesn't sound like a great deal. But the fact of the matter is, no matter what I want to do, I am going to jump out of that plane. And now it's about 2 minutes away before my death. And we look at the jump master again, and the jump master holds the 1 minute sign. And then the 30 seconds line. I don't want to do this. And I'm looking at the lights, and it's red. oh my God, it's green. And so I have to go forward towards my death with everybody else. And Jackson holds her static line off to the jump master. And she is gone, man. There's no more Jackson. And then Franklin does the same thing, and Franklin is gone. And now it's Murray's turn. And Murray gives his static line off to the jump master, and Murray jumps out. And everything goes dark. I count to 4. Like they tell me to do in training, and about the 2.5 mark, I feel this tug on my body. And I look up, and I see this beautiful green circle. My parachute has opened. I take the foam out of my ears, and it just sort of floats away on the wind. And I look off in the distance, and I see that I'm sinking a little bit lower than the plane, and it's just kind of motoring away. And the trees that were going by so fast earlier are now just there, and I'm above them, and it's quiet. I see my other fellow paratroopers doing the same thing. I know I'm going to hit the ground, so I get ready, I get into the right posture, and I'm waiting for the ground to come up and meet me, and it does a little harder than I want it to, but I get down there and I fall, and I open my eyes after I'm done falling, and I see big puffy white clouds in the sky, and it's a blue sky, and my parachute is settling behind me, and I look around and I see other paratroopers doing the same thing. We made it. We made it. I hear sounds of them packing up their bags, walking towards the rally point. I hear Humvees starting, people shouting in the distance. Even though you're not supposed to, they do it anyways, because it's a training run, right? And I realize in that moment that I've made it. I didn't die, and I don't have a court-martial. I pack my stuff in and I head in. I didn't realize until later what a large community of people I had at my back supporting me. There were the people that made the parachute. There were the people that made the reserve parachute. There were the people that trained me to make sure that I knew exactly what to do, and if something did go wrong, I could do a thing before I died. There were people like my fellow paratroopers who were in the same boat as me. And as I got clarity around this whole thing, I realized that in the moment, I didn't really feel like I was together with everybody. I felt alone because my fear was getting the better of me. But I realized that at any point, I was always surrounded by others who were there to make sure that I was successful. And so I thought about this later and so I thought about this a little more, and I realized that the next time that I want to stand up for what is right, or the next time I want to tell the truth, or the next time I want to just get honest with myself, I can. I might feel that I'm the most alone person in the world at that point, but those things require me to take that leap of faith in order to do the right thing. And when I do the right thing, I'll realize that I never was alone. I was always surrounded by people who support me and who are in the same boat as I. Thank you.